Okay guys, this is Danny and Wanda from Deep South Homestead. We're about to do something that many of you have never seen before that are subscribers to us. We're going to go over and we're going to view and do a walkthrough of the high tunnels during the nighttime and see the difference a high tunnel is during the daytime, during the nighttime. Y'all seen it during the day, but we're going to show it to you at night. Alright guys, we're over here at the first high tunnel, the one that's got the trees and all in it. We're going to open it and go in and take a look. Now we're going to shut the door behind us because bugs come out at night. Well, now that we're in here, guys, this one's like a forest. We have all the trees in here. I want you to look at this. They are everywhere and they are doing so wonderful. I want to walk around and just take a minute. I want us to look at some of the things we have going on, because I haven't really done a walk around in my high tunnel here since, it's been a while. We're going to start off with, look at the beautiful petunias here. These are part of our pollinator attractants that we have here. And then we have a mullein growing over here in the corner. It's about to start flowering, which is exciting to us because we've hardly ever had a mullein to do that here, but it's doing good. We have our peppers. Now these were our pepper trees last year. Remember, they were way up in here last year, and Miss Wanda cut them down, and they have they've made it all through the summer and everything. They are doing fantastic. The bell pepper's doing good. And this one here, guys, this one has peppers all over it underneath here. This is our red roaster. They're hanging all up through here. I mean, this thing is loaded. We learned if we want peppers early in the Deep South, we just prune our big peppers back and let them go. The next spring, they come back real quick and the peppers get on real fast. That way, we don't have to wait for them to grow up and grow peppers. And then next to it here is our Freedom Blackberries. Now I've already harvested all the berries. I've cut all the old canes off. And guys, these are the new canes that's come up for next year's berries. Look how luscious and beautiful all these plants are here. Now I didn't follow the traditional way of pruning them. I did my own little method here because I like to look at them big and tall. And I don't want them bushed all out in the aisle here. They're going to make little shoots that's going to come off of it in a lot of different places, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Okay guys, we have our container pots here also. These are our Egyptian walking onions. They're about run through their cycle. And we have a dill that came up from last year. We had dill in this pot. And then we have our blueberry tree here. We was always told the blueberries would not do in the high tunnel. This is a dwarf blueberry, and look at here. It actually has a blueberry on it. Look at that. I wonder what it tastes like. Wow, it's like super sweet. Nice. This is our sweet southern cherry. We're trying to give this a shot here and just see how it does. We're going to keep it pruned back in here and kind of keep it as dwarf as we can. And then right beside it here we have a dwarf pear tree. Right here, we've been pruning it to keep it kind of dwarfed down. And next to it here, we have another plum, the Santa Rosa plum. Now, this is not a dwarf, but I'm pruning it back to be a dwarf. I'm just making it bunch out as much as I possibly can. Then, beside it here, we have our Red Haven peaches. Now, these trees last year were just little sticks. This year, they've grown up really well. I've got 3 of them in a row right here. These things are doing fantastic. I'm keeping them pruned back so that they make a beautiful peach tree. And then we have a banana pepper that Miss Wanda left in the pot with the peach tree this past year. She cut it off. The winter freeze didn't kill it. It's come back, and that thing has bore so many banana peppers this year already that it's just unreal. And it's still got little banana peppers all over it. And beside it here, we have our Fuji apples. We have 1, 2 of them that we're going to try to keep them pruned back and just see what we can do with them in the high tunnel. See if we can make them work in here. And then we go into our tropical part of this. Now this here is, was this our key lime? Yes, we got this from Grow Family. This is our key lime, and this thing is literally bloomed out and loaded with key limes. I mean, they are everywhere on it. It smelled so good in here for a long time. Then we have our sticker thing here. I've done got wrapped all around this. This is our Hamlin Sweet Orange. It actually has some oranges on it here, guys. Look at that. I know it's hard for me to get them in the light, but it's got some oranges on it. Kind of excited about that. And then we have a miniature Meyer Lemon underneath this peppermint here, coming up underneath it in that pot right there. We're kind of excited about that. The peppermint's taking over. I mean, it's just getting out of control. Then we have our Owari Satsuma here. It hasn't bloomed yet this year, but we're anticipating at any moment it's probably going to start. And then beside us here, we're just about through. We had our bulb onions in the middle of this here, and we had our elephant garlic along the outside edges. It's dying back. We've harvested a bunch of it. We'll show you in just a minute. We're leaving some of it in here so that it'll make sure that next year it will have cloves on it. Because this year it doesn't have cloves, it just has bulbs. And so many people told us that asparagus will not grow in a high tunnel or a greenhouse because it doesn't get the chill hours. Well, I'm here to tell you, Ms. Wanda has been eating off of this all year long. This thing has bore so many spears on it that it's just unreal at what she's harvested off of this right here. And plus she let a lot of them go to just make the fern plants up in here, and they're already seeding up, so asparagus will do in a high tunnel. And then over here we have our miniature banana trees. These things are literally doing fantastic in this high tunnel. This is where they belong at. And beside it, we have our little small Calamandan oranges. It's doing really good in the pot here. And we have another one of our banana trees here. This is a miniature one. It's got 2 baby pups in the pot with it here. We've got to get these dug up, get them moved somewhere else, so that this one that's left here will get on up here and possibly maybe have some bananas on it this year. Over in here we have more of our petunias. These are our pollinator attractants here in the end of the high tunnel. We have strawberries here. We were told strawberries would not do in here. These strawberries, matter of fact, we have strawberries in the house right now that we've been harvesting off of them. They do just fine in the high tunnel. We have another miniature banana tree in a pot here. We have an herb growing here beside it. I'm not sure which one this is Ms. Wanda has stuck in here, but it looks like it's doing fantastic. It loves the environment. We have another Owari Satsuma here that hasn't bloomed yet. We have a full-size Meyer Lemon here. It hasn't bloomed, but I'm anticipating that now that it's warming up, it's probably going to bloom at any moment. And another one of our Calamandan little oranges right here. We have doing fine. And then we have a Kumquat Tree that's right beside it here. We just harvested all the kumquats off of it, so it probably should start blooming back here before long. And guys, in the pots, we have the Freedom Blackberries that's coming up in here because we had a blackberry in this pot last year and we had some pieces of root left in here. They're coming up like crazy in here, so we're going to be transplanting them. And I know the frogs are making a lot of noise, but the pond is right here beside me, and the frogs are hollering like crazy tonight. But we also have 2 yellow Marconis here. Now last year, them things was way up into the top up here, but Ms. Wanda cut them back. Guys, they've done come back out, and they are loaded with the yellow Marconi peppers. They're on here everywhere. Just, I mean, piles of them in here. And then on the rack right here, this is the garlic I was telling you about. We have it on our drying rack here in the high tunnel. This has worked out really, really good for us. And then on each side of it here, we have the Malabar spinach in here. If we need spinach to eat in a salad or anything, all we have to do is come out here and harvest these big old giant beautiful leaves. Blemish free. It's starting to bloom, so there's going to be a lot of seeds on it this year. So hopefully we'll be able to harvest a lot of Malabar spinach seeds. We have another one of our Fuji apples right here. It's doing pretty good. I got to come in here and do a little pruning to make it bush out a little bit more. And then I have a new apple that I'm trying here in the south. This is called a collarmer apple. This apple tree does not have limbs on it. It bears apples all along the stems. I'm trying to get it up to the top where I can train it to run through the top of the high tunnel. And hopefully that is going to work out for us. And as we come over here, this is one squash plant. This is the gold prize straight squash from Hoss Tool. Guys, it loves the high tunnel. We have harvested so many squash off of this. Me and Wanda have decided 2 or 3 plants is really all we need for squash, as many as these things bear in here. And in amongst that is 2 peppers back here that's just getting up above the squash plant now and actually starting to bloom. So hopefully they're going to pull out and do pretty good. Alright guys, we have a heritage raspberry here. Raspberries really don't grow in the south, the caning type. But this one seems to be trying to pull out and do okay. The original cane all died back, but the new looks like it's holding its own. Now this one has thorns all over it, so you have to be really careful with it. And then we move here, we have another dwarf peach here. This is an Empress Peach. Now it has actual peaches on it, guys. I mean, we've got peaches here. There's peaches over in here. I'm trying not to break them off, but you can see them up in there. No worms, no bugs in the high tunnel. Here's another one back over here. Beautiful peaches. We're trying to take care of them. Another one right here. The dwarf peaches do really well in the high tunnel, and we're excited about that. And we have another Empress right here. It's all up inside that. We're trying to get them all intertwined in here so that they can pollinate real well. All right, I'm experimenting here in the high tunnel. This right here is a seedless grape. It's a green seedless grape. We can't put them outside because if we do, they cross-pollinate with the muscadines. So I've put one in the high tunnel here and built a trellis system. Trying to keep it trellised in here on this trellis across here to see if I can actually harvest seedless white grapes inside a high tunnel in the Deep South. That would be a first for us. And then here we have our bay tree that we harvest our bay leaves from, that you dry just like you get in the store. They make they're fantastic for putting in soups and stuff like that. They kill gas in the intestinal tract and things. Also, they're a good preservative if you're storing grains or anything like that. They deter insects. And then down here, have to get out of the light. This is actually a wild raspberry here that grows on the ground. It's a running one, kind of like a briar. It's got thorns all over it. And actually right now, if I'm not correct, right here, let's see, look at this. I know one of them's ready. Yeah, it just pulled right off. The other's probably another day. I'll give that to Miss Wanda. She likes her raspberries. Isn't it good?
We just hadn't got them planted. We intended
to have them planted. We just hadn't got to it. They're still in the containers. And here is another. This is one plant, guys. It's rooted way over yonder, and it has grown all the way out into here. And we have harvested tons of the yellow gold prize squash from Hoss Tool. I am a firm believer in these. No squash bugs, no vine borers, none of that to contend with in here. It loves the high tunnel. It's just doing fantastic in here, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed just a little bit of tour of the first high tunnel that we have. We're going to take a moment. We're going to step over into Ms. Wanda's high tunnel back here, and we're going to see what's going on in there. All right, guys, let's walk into Ms. Wanda's high tunnel here. Let's see what's going on and check it out. We want to get in before the bugs do, because the lights are on. All right, now, guys, this is what you call a food forest. I want you to look down through there. The ceilings in this thing is 8 feet high, and all the food is almost to the top. And what you're looking at over here is a whole row of Cherokee purple tomatoes over here, all the way to the other end of this high tunnel. And it has a Cherokee pumpkin in it. Now, if you want to know more about this, you can go over to Crazy Days, because Ms. Wanda puts videos up real regular about this high tone over on Crazy Days, and she shows a lot of things that's going on in it. But there's a couple of things. I mean, this is the Cherokee tan pumpkin vine. Look at my hand inside one of them leaves. These things are huge.
And they got pumpkins everywhere.
They got pumpkins everywhere. And the crazy thing is, they're woven in amongst all the tomatoes here.
You see a tomato and then you say, wait, that ain't a tomato.
That's not a tomato, that's a pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Now, somewhere in here today, there it is back here. I found a surprise in here today.
Miss Wanda already showed it.
Wanda already showed this over on Crazy Days, but I found it today, first time I've been in here and checked it out. And I told her, I said, we got to get this off of here. Now, I'm going to see if I can get in here. I want y'all to look right up in there. You see that up in there?
It's kind of looking like a red tomato, ain't it?
I'm going to just see.
My first Cherokee purple
I'm trying to
tomato.
be easy with it. Look at this.
There you go.
Look at that tomato, guys.
Tell me I can't grow a tomato.
Cherokee purple tomato. Look at that. We'll be saving the seeds from this.
I will be having a sandwich.
Ms. Wanda will have a sandwich, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean,
I got some bacon.
That's perfect. I was thinking it had a crack in it, because I told her, I said, I think it's got a crack in it. But what I was feeling was all these ribs back in here, because I couldn't really see it. And I was feeling that right there. But, I mean, that's
a pretty tomato.
Oh, it does have a crack. It
does have a little bit of a split, but yeah. It might be from me overwatering.
It probably is, because we've been watering the fool out of these things.
This one
that's beautiful right there, guys. I mean, that is utterly beautiful.
And I'm kind of proud of my corn.
Yeah, the corn is a Cherokee long ear white eagle popcorn, and you know, we've learned, it's been a learning experience for us. We didn't know if we could grow corn in a high tone or not. So we chose popcorn. Lesson learned, we put it a little too thick. It should have been spaced out a little more. But it's doing pretty good. I mean, it's making little ears. And it's drying out like it's supposed to. It pollinated very well. All this you see on the leaves in here is not dust. This is literal pollen. It got so bad in here at one point you couldn't breathe in here. There was so much pollen. But it pollinated really well. Now, another thing, I'm just going to take a quick trip down. I want to show you one other thing, and the rest of the high tone you can see from Ms. Wanda's Crazy Days. Guys, I want you to know this is cucumbers. This is 3 plants. We've already picked so many cucumbers off of this that we just tired of cucumbers almost already. And I want you to look at this here. Look, hanging. This is a market more. Look at this. Them things are hanging up in here. There's one propped up right here. There's one laying on the board up yonder. Look, laying hanging over there behind them leaves. There's another one. And I mean, guys, way on the other side over yonder is another big old one hanging way over yonder. I mean, they're in here everywhere I pick up these leaves. There's cucumbers. There's another one right there hanging. Another one right over yonder. Another one over yonder. One right here.
And we picked them yesterday.
Yeah, one down here. We picked them yesterday.
And look at the top.
And the top, I put a piece of wire up here. It's going to start running. It'll probably eventually make it to the other side of the high tone before it's over. This is the market more. Now, this is 3 plants.
From Hoss Tools.
From Hoss Tools. This is the beauty of a high tone. Disease-free. Everything's working. The squash. She also has the same squash over here, the gold prize that I have in mine. We have a plant that's fastened way down yonder. It's done growed all the way down through here. There's actually a squash on it right there that needs picking, but I'm not going to pick it. We'll get it in the morning. There it is down there. And there's just tons of babies all over it everywhere. So, guys.
And
look down through that. Look at that sunflower. That sunflower's all the way up there to the top. It's a good, what, 10 feet up there to the top of it?
Pretty close. And
look at that.
I counted 20 flowered buds on it, and I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 already budded
opened
out.
Up. Yeah. And this thing was only supposed to get 4 foot tall. And it's already almost 10 feet tall. That's the beauty of a high tunnel when you put something in a perfect growing environment.
So if you want to know more about my Cherokee garden,
look down through there at the Cherokee yellow wax beans down through there.
The Trail of Tears.
Trail of Tears beans here, guys. Look at that. I mean, they're hanging in there everywhere. There's one that's making dry beans out of these this year. The Cherokee tan pumpkin. The Cherokee purple tomatoes. Look at this one tomato plant right here. Look at that.
This is a bush.
This is a tree. I mean, look at me compared to this thing. This thing is as tall as I am. It's 6 feet tall, and it's like
6 feet wide.
like 6 feet wide. I mean, this is one plant.
One plant.
You tell me that these high tunnels don't work out. And over in behind it there is another. This is one gold prize squash, taking up the whole side of the greenhouse in here, plus other stuff going down through yonder. Yeah, if you want to learn about it, you just need to go over to Crazy Days, and Miss Wanda takes you through it in the daylight where you can see it all good. The tomatoes is so high that they got it all shaded out over there. The only way to tell is just go through here in the daylight with her. So guys, we fixing to take this tomato in the house, and Miss Wanda's probably going to enjoy her and tomorrow a good BLT sandwich. This is the future of food. If there's any way possible, we will have another one of these put up and grow even more of our food in here, because there's no bugs, there's no disease hardly. It's amazing. Vegetables come out perfect. I mean, look, I mean, what can you say? I mean, look at that. This is 3 plants. One down here, one right here, and one way down here. And this thing is just loaded with beans all down through here for dry beans. If we'd have planted them a little bit closer together, we would have had 10 times what we have here. So now that we know we can do it, guys, the game is on in the future in these high tunnels, because now we're learning what we can do and what we cannot do in them. It's been a learning curve for us for the first year, but guys, we've got it figured out, and now all we're going to do is focus on growing in high tunnels as much as we can. So thank you guys for following us, and thank you for watching us. If you haven't subscribed to Deep South Homestead, subscribe to us, because we put stuff like this up all the time. And guys, what can I say other than God has been good and letting us grow in these high tunnels. So thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.